Today I'm going to be reading from an American history book. Please enjoy. Geography and the Development of the United States. Location. Geographers describe the location of an area in both absolute and relative terms. An atlas is the best source for identifying both physical and political place locations, as well as other demographic information. Absolute location. In terms of its absolute location, the United States is located in the northern and western hemispheres. With the exception of Hawaii, the country is located on the continent of North America. The country is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean on the east and the Pacific Ocean on the west. Relative location. Geographers also consider an area's relative location, or where it is located in relation to other places. For example, the United States is located south of Canada and north of Mexico. California is west of New York. The relative location of a place can also change over time. For much of the country's history, Americans felt relatively isolated from Europe and Asia. Likewise, people in the West felt relatively isolated from the East. East. From the East. Changes in transportation and communication technologies changed these perceptions. For example, the number of post offices in the nation leaped from 75 in 1790 to 8,450 in 1830. Regular mail delivery made it easier for people in distant places to communicate with one another. Improved communication and transportation helped tie together the different parts of the country as it grew in both size and population. Place. Geographers study both the physical and human characteristics of places. Both physical and human characteristics of the geography of the United States have had a huge impact on the development of the country. Geographers use a number of types of maps. Physical maps show land features such as rivers and mountains. Political maps illustrate state or country boundaries and various political divisions such as counties and cities. Demographic maps show the placement of groups of people by different categories such as age or income level or education. The ability to develop maps forecasting weather conditions has improved dramatically with the use of modern technology. Physical characteristics. Physical characteristics include landforms, water bodies, vegetation, and climate. Because of its size, the United States has a wide variety of landforms. As the map on this page shows, the Great Plains and the Central Plains occupy the central regions of the country, also known as the Midwest. The rich soils and climate of the Midwest encouraged Americans to move to these regions where they could acquire inexpensive farmland. The Mississippi River, The Mississippi River cuts through the Central Plains as it flows south to the Gulf of Mexico. Boats traveling along the Mississippi River allowed farmers, traders, to transport their goods to markets throughout the country. Two mountain ranges run from north to south on either side of the Central Plains region. In the east are the lower, older Appalachian Mountains. In the west are the Rocky Mountains. The Rockies are a cordillera, or a related set of mountain ranges. I don't know if I said cordillera right, but that stretches from northern Alaska all the way to Mexico, forming the longest mountain chain in North America. Human characteristics. Several waves of immigration have created a unique cultural mix of people in the United States. People from every region of the world have settled in the United States. As a result, the nation's human characteristics, such as language, religion, and customs are varied. About half of all African Americans live in the South. About 9% of Southern residents are of Latino origin. In general, population density is greater in the eastern half of the country. The most densely settled region of the country is the Northeast Corridor, which stretches along the East Coast from Washington, D.C. to Boston, Massachusetts. Compared with those in many nations of the world, people in the United States have a long life experience. Compared with those in many nations of the world, people in the United States have long life expectancies, high per capita incomes, and high literacy rates. movement. Geographers study the movement of people, goods, and ideas within an area. The movement of people into and within the United States over the course of history can be broken into the following large patterns. Bering Strait Land Bridge. Geographers believe that during the ice ages between about 20,000 and 12,000 years ago, much of the Earth's water was frozen into glaciers and ice sheets. As a result, ocean levels dropped, exposing a flat bridge of land between Alaska and eastern Asia, where the Bering Strait is today. Am I pronouncing that right? Bering Strait. Over thousands of years, hunters from East Asia crossed the land bridge and gradually spread out over North and South America. These Paleo-Indians were the first humans in the Americas, ancestors of all the Native American peoples. European exploration and slavery. By the 1500s, better ships and navigation methods allowed European explorers to find their way to North America. The first European newcomers, mainly from Spain, settled in what are now Florida, the Southwest, and Mexico. About a century later, people from France and Great Britain set up colonies on the eastern coast of North America. In addition, millions of Africans were enslaved and brought unwillingly to North America. In the 1600s, the earliest English settlements in the New World, from Plymouth in Massachusetts to New Amsterdam in New York to Jamestown, Virginia, were all located near the coastline or on rivers. New England earned its name as it is the location of some of the earliest colonies: Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, and later New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. The geography of this area encouraged small farms and commercial fishing, whereas much further south, fertile land and long growing season encouraged the development of plantations producing tobacco, cotton, rice, and indigo. Geographically, the Appalachian Mountains limited the movement of colonists westward until the middle of the 18th century. Later in the century, by the end of the Revolutionary War, the western border of the United States was the Mississippi River. Migration from east to west. During the 1800s, the promise of land and gold led many Americans of European descent to move westward. Farmers along the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys benefited from the Louisiana Purchase and the acquisition of New Orleans as a port for American agricultural goods. Native Americans were forced from their lands to locations even further west. Rivers, turnpikes, canals, and railroads all played a part in the movement of people to the frontier to the west. The flat, grassy region between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains is known as the Great Plains. This fertile farmland was a great attraction, and the Homestead Act of 1862 provided for the development of additional farms in the area. Manifest destiny was the concept that expressed the American belief that the United States was destined to expand across North America. Throughout the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, the American frontier shifted further and further